these little cars were once everywhere. And it's surprising to me that nobody really remembers them. Their story hasn't been told.
Scott Lyon of Terryville, Connecticut has long been infatuated with cycle cars from the early 20th century and shares their history at car shows. A.O. Smith Company began making its Smith Flyer in 1916 before selling the manufacturing rights to Briggs Stratton in 1919, which renamed the model the Briggs Stratton Flyer.
I was at an antique car show when I was a little kid. I was there with my dad, and I saw one of these, an original Briggs Stratton one, and I just thought that was the coolest thing that ever was. And
sure, yeah.
2 years ago when I retired, I still thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw.
It is.
Over the years, Lyon collected parts to maybe someday build a Flyer replica.
A couple of years ago, after I'd been diagnosed with cancer, I was looking around the workshop to see what I could get rid of in anticipation of the time. And I looked at that pile of stuff and I had this thought go through my mind that I might not live long enough to get that thing built, but I just can't let go of all those parts quite yet. I've been saving them for too long. And within a couple of months, it was the middle of summer, and I just decided that I'd been living too long as if I was about to drop off the perch. And I made a choice right then and there that I'm going to start living as if I've got all the time I want. And I started building it, and I spent about a year building the car and finished it June of last season.
Cycle cars looked more like a go-kart than an actual car. They basically had four wheels attached to a wooden platform, a buckboard-style seat, and an engine in the rear. Lyon's replica is powered by a 212cc Predator engine.
Maybe it's about an 8 horsepower out of the box. Mine has a stage 2 kit in it, so it's about 12 horsepower. It will go about 35, and at that speed, it's scary to death. At about 20, it's really comfortable. It behaves itself at 20 miles an hour. The wheelbase is so short that if you're by the time you're over 20, it's getting very twitchy.
Since building his Flyer recreation, Lyon has been taking it to car shows with two purposes. One is to show off his handiwork and share the history of cycle cars, which were very popular more than 100 years ago, but only for a short period. They were even raced.
This car is actually listed in Guinness Book of World Records as the least expensive brand new car you could ever buy. And I believe that record remains intact today. You could get it for about $120, $130. A lot of people had them because they were the only cars a lot of people could afford. But when the Model T became very inexpensive, it basically killed the market for these. And after a couple of world wars and people melting metal, these have just disappeared.
The second part of Lyon's mission is to encourage kids and teenagers to pick up tools and be creative.
I've had high school kids come by more than once. I've had high school kids say, yeah, I just do this all the time. And I'd love to know how to do that. So my message for those kids is don't wait for permission. Just start bringing home whatever you see people throwing away. If it's made out of metal, you know you can reuse it. I'd like to see families, I'd like to see fathers and sons and mothers and daughters working together in workshops, learning how to use tools and build things together.
From a youthful infatuation to a project as an aging adult, the cycle car has given Lyon a great deal of satisfaction.
As I take it out now, I'm at a show surrounded by cars that people spent 10 years and $100,000 building, and I just built this thing out of hardware and lumber and parts I could weld together and pieces I found left over. And I spent about a year building it and about $1,000. And I can take it to a show and I can have families take their kids' picture in it. I can take people for rides. I'm not worried about the paint job. I spray painted it with a rattle can. So it's a really enjoyable car to have because I can take it out and have fun with it without worrying about it.
That's my ride. For CT Insider, I'm Bud Wilkinson.